feeling to do another video, and I had some friends text me out east, and they said, "Oh, we did your yoga," and these are people I wouldn't have met or had any experience with unless you're doing something like this and putting it out there. So I'm gonna do another video about with the sound and with some postures, but it's gonna have a focus on sleep. So this is a shout out to my friends out east that did my sound yoga, and I just have a feeling to do a little sleep yoga video. So my name is Jennifer Coleman, and I teach at lots of different places in Ketchum, Sun Valley, Hailey, Idaho, and we're in quarantine. I just call it quarantine. I don't want to call it lockdown or isolate. I don't know. It's just we're all taking care of ourselves, staying inside. So I did a video on the first chakra and the fifth chakra, having the energy flow. When I wasn't feeling very well back. I talked about this a little bit in 2012, and I started working at a health. I worked at a couple places. I worked at a rock shop, which was actually that's where I got really more in tune with all the different energies that are out there. I worked at this shop and really understood how to work with stones, which really surprised me. So when we go into these periods where it's like really unknown, there's some really amazing gifts that can come our way. And the other gift, another place that I decided to work at was in this health food store, supplement, natural healing store. And I learned a lot about how to just really take on healing naturally. And it is definitely available. Like your body and your system and your intuition and your knowledge knows how to self-heal. And so I learned to heal a lot with food. I was around a lot of women. It was owned by, a man, but it was actually all of us women working together. There's probably like 12 of us. And we some massage therapists, color therapists, yogis, people who just were into different things, dance, people who are into more art and gardening. So we all had these gifts, and we were all helping each other work through lots of different things that were happening in all of our lives. And it was really powerful about how you can come together and help each other heal. And even when you don't think you have a gift, you were kind of always, if you have an exploration, if you have an inspiration to explore something, that's the hint, that's the gift, that's the nudge. So I was studying, the nudge for me was to start working more with food, supplements, and then I ended up learning the one woman was healing with color, flower essences. Again, I had interesting experiences with stones. But one of the things I ended up writing an article for the yoga studio about yoga and sleep, because I had a lot of calls at the natural health food store. People cannot sleep. And then one of the big pieces when I was healing and I had an unknown, I call it a chronic fatigue. One of the big pieces for a lot of people that they can heal is if they can get their sleep in order. If you can get your sleep in order, you can then start to heal. So some big disruptors of sleep are alcohol, big disruptor. Even though we feel like it's putting us into this like more mellow place, it actually disrupts some of the REM sleep later in our sleep cycle. Electronics. Right now, making this video, I put up all the lights in the house, and one of the things I actually like to do is take down, like starting around 7:38, like the natural lighting needs to come down. Like that's what happens outside, and our bodies will then be queued up to create the melatonin. And so, and I ended up, when I wrote that article, I actually did it myself. I did these pieces. I was taking down the lights, and there's actually some yoga and some yoga sequencing that I was surprised. Like, yoga usually feels more energizing to me, but when I worked with these postures, it doesn't have to be many, 3, 5, 7. It doesn't have to be a long sequence. But when you work with the yoga, it actually really readies the body for sleep. And so we're going to work on that. So I think like the other pieces of that. Some other pieces that I use for natural sleep. I encourage people to work with binaural beats. Take down your environment. Take away the electronics. Take away out the blue lights. The lighting is really key. If you study paleo diet, they really recommend that you almost black out your room. Like, we're really supposed to be in a cave taking our sleep. And I'm a big proponent for women that are healing their adrenals to sleep from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So it's pretty common if you've been adrenal fatigued, you're actually cutting that adrenal healing time by waking up every day at like 7. It's tricky because we've got kids and we've got to wake up for work. But if you can get a couple days a week, that you start to don't put on an alarm clock, really try to sleep in till 9 a.m. And that will be a really big recharge for your adrenals. The adrenals are right now, especially because you're pushing out, you're stressed, and so then you push out cortisol and then you're in a stress response. But if you can cut that stress response, again with yoga, meditation, and then also allow your body to heal. And what I say by when in Chinese medicine, there's like a healing clock, like you're healing your liver at 4 a.m. You're healing different parts of your body based on a timing. And so from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., we're healing our adrenals. So that was one of the ways I allowed myself to heal, was to allow myself to sleep in and not tell myself a story that I wasn't being productive, that I was like a lazy, or I was losing out on something. And then I would usually the night before write down, okay, well then I'm going to be productive from 11 a.m. to 2 and just really focus. So it's interesting when we can take care of ourselves, give ourselves the things we need, and then, we really can be productive in like 2 hours in a day, really. We've stretched stuff out. I think we're all learning that right now. Like, do I need to go to all these meetings? Do I need to travel across country to do this business thing? Do I need, we're all learning how to just really get efficient with our time, because our self-care is needing to just really go up right now. So we'll do some postures. We'll play with the music. Let's start in Supta Baddha Konasana. I happen to have a yoga blanket here. You could take a towel. I'm gonna take this yoga blanket and make a little back roll. So you can take that. I'm gonna play the bowl, of course, but I'll show you how to. Let's start in Supta Baddha Konasana. So palms of the feet together. You can take arms out and go post. I'm gonna play the bowl. I've got a little bit more of a timer. Give us a few minutes in each posture. So settle yourself in Supta Baddha Konasana. It opens up the heart chakra, opens up the second chakra. If it's a little bit painful on your low back, you can just bend the knees together. You can take variations. Big inhale, big exhale. So you can just take one hand to the low belly, one hand to the heart center. The knees are coming in. I'm actually gonna walk my feet out, bring my knees in, and just take some nice, gentle side to side. Maybe even let the head and neck rock. Almost like we just want to just check in with the body. It might not be that we fix everything right now. It seems like I've said that in my other videos, but especially as we're trying to go to bed, we just want to just try to loosen that, whatever's maybe holding on to the past, which was the day. This would be a great video to play from 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8. Maybe is 8:30. We're gonna actually do, we're gonna go into a child's pose, and I'm gonna use a blanket again. Now you could use a towel. You could have another style of blanket. Maybe you have a yoga blanket. But I just like it because I can take my legs really wide if I have a blanket. So meditation. I don't know if you can see. Oops. So we're gonna take the knees pretty wide, almost like they could come off the blanket, and then sit back in child's pose, toes together. Now, a couple things. A lot of this sleep postures, if you have like a pillow, a block, it's like really nice to be able to feel supported. So you can do a few things. Sometimes we stack the hands. I'm going to play the bowl here for a few minutes. Find your child's pose. Allow the belly to expand out. Allow the belly to draw in. arms to slowly come on up. Bring the knees in together and just make a nice, gentle posture, even just for a few breaths. And just breathe. Child's pose can be very, just you're opening up the hips so much. And so sometimes you just need to kind of bring yourself in, squeeze, I call it hug midline. You can hug the knees in together, pull in at the navel area. We're gonna go into cat and cow, just enough to, and this one surprised me. I was like, really, we're gonna do a down dog? But you just almost like you need to burn off a little bit of energy. So from cat and cow, and then turn toes under, press into your down dog. Take about 3 deep breaths here in down dog. Shake out head and neck, pedal the feet, kind of move side to side. And then from down dog, you can come back, you want to come back down and take a breather. Cat and cow, move side to side. Another one that I like to do, and just to feel my core, is I call it the hover. So just bend the knees, hover, push into the hands, push into the feet, come back down. We're gonna go one more time into down dog. Shake out head and neck. And then we're gonna, there goes my back just like, woo, there it goes. Okay, go ahead and walk hands into feet, feet into hands, right? So just have a nice gentle forward fold. And it could be staff pose if it feels better for you to just do staff. You could also take feet a little bit wider, bring the arms onto the legs. It's more about the surrender. Let's take about 3 deep breaths here. Uttanasana, forward fold. Make sure you're pulling that belly in. Belly expands. You want to have that core connection. Shake out head and neck. We're going to slowly, as you slowly rise back up, you can kind of reset up each vertebrae by vertebrae, re-curl up. Big inhale, you can roll shoulders up and back, shake it out a little bit. Whew. This is just more of a heart opener. So just open up the heart. And all of this can just be very simple. It doesn't have to be full expression. You can bend the knees a little bit, open the heart. You don't want to do too many back bends. I've stayed up pretty late. If you do back bend, for me, if I do back bends after 8 p.m., I'm up till 3. And that's the idea, is that you like squeeze the kidneys, the adrenals. So just a nice, I don't want to do too many back bends, but just open the heart. We're going to go into a wide-legged forward fold. So again, more forward folds are actually really great for, getting prepped for sleep. So you can walk the feet wide. You can take the head onto a block. You can have hands. Sometimes just having a nice, almost like a wide-legged staff. This feels really good right now. Let's take about 3 deep breaths here. And then you can slowly bring the feet in. Let's go into hero posture. So hero posture, I'll play the bowl here for a little bit. I'll show you what this, for a lot of us, we have to take a block, a pillow, a towel, and I've got to get that block underneath the bum. And then I've got it supporting, but I'm working on having my knees together. I just moved my calves out of the way, and I'm going to keep working at getting myself flat on the earth. So this can be intense if I teach a lot of skiers, a lot of cyclists, and we all need props most of the time because this opens up a lot of the quad, and when you use your quads all the time, they're shortening, hip flexors are shortening. So this one is probably one of my top 5 between seated posture, child's pose. Here, this is a great meditative posture. I'm going to move my blocks. My butt bones are a little more on the block. I can take hands here. We talked about mudras. I could take some nice mudras. Let's go ahead and breathe here for a few minutes, allowing the body to stack all that. We move some energy. Let it stack. Take the hips and push forward as well, just a little bit. Hug in at the glutes, just more about anchoring the lower half of the body, getting a nice, sometimes I call it the scorpion tail, meaning we're just creating this really strong base. And go ahead and sit back down. I'm just gonna look over my notes again, see if there's any last postures. I thought this one was kind of interesting, actually. I'll move this again. So I really like a lot of, I call them final spinal twists, but this is you could do a variation. So grabbing that block, squeezing the block. You can activate the core a little bit if you need to. Move side to side. Now we're going to take I'm going to take this and stack it way to the right and then take my arms over to the left. So big spinal twist. You can even look over to the arms, the hands, opposite direction of the legs. Big inhale, big exhale. I'm squeezing the block, but I'm also, letting the hips stack. I'm going to come back to center. If you need to check in with your hips and move a little bit side to side, touch, and then take it to this other side. I'm going to try to stack my feet again. If you look at my arms, big inhale, big exhale. Just trying to create some openness in my spine. I'm not going to try to fix any tight piriformis or glutes right now. I'm just going to breathe, move my head and neck, let my body feel safe. And slowly come back to center. Bring the knees in, rock. And we'll do one last forward fold. We'll do a seated forward fold. So you can't really see my feet maybe per se, but I've got my feet flexed. I've got them hugging in. I'm going to take my block. You could take a bolster, a blanket, and just allow yourself to, I'm going to drop my head and neck. Breathe here. Open up the back of the heart chakra. You want to surrender and go deeper. Grab the toes. I'm going to have you keep breathing and being in that posture. Play the bowl. See if you can get about 10 more deep breaths. Back behind you. I have my fingers pointing away. I'm pressing into the palms. I'm just lifting my heart. I might even lift up on the hips just a little bit. Just feel that, almost like you're picking up even just an inch. The sit bones come off just an inch. You can set back down. Push into the arms again. Lift. Feel the spine elongate. I can push into a foot. Kind of like pushing in, almost like a pseudo bridge pose or tabletop. Just having the arms press. So the finishing posture, we can do a couple of different things. You can finish with any postures that you want to work with. They actually recommended plow pose or supported bridge, so those could be some options. I like, a lot of people, when I teach this in my classes, will go back to a Baddha Konasana. So you could do a couple things. You could do a different style of Baddha Konasana, maybe a block underneath the hips, palms of the feet together. You could not have any props, have a little more simple. If that was a lot on your spine and you just wanted to have the knees bent, A lot of people just head right into corpse pose, Shavasana. I'm gonna play probably for the next 10 to 12 minutes. So pick a posture that you feel very supported in. Again, see if you can release any tension, release the jaw, release the tongue and the mouth, release the eyes and the eye sockets. See if you can maybe do an audible ah. posture had. Slowly come back to the body. You need to draw the knees into the chest. You can bring the knees in and just allow the spine to soften, or just move to one side in the fetal position. Take about 3 deep breaths. Come back to your body. Come back to the room. This is a D bowl. It's coming, I'm trying to figure out how to have it come across maybe a little cleaner through the video, but just trust that it's a hertz, about a 432 hertz. The healing hertz 440, 432, 440, 528. So those are the hertz that are very healing. Sometimes they call them miracle tones. So understand that that is coming through the video. So just to close up the practice, you can come back into a seated posture, or if you need to just lay where you're at. I'm going to do a Ma chant and an Om chant. And the Ma this will balance the hemispheres of the brain. The Ma chant is very powerful for the age of Aquarius, moving in with the feminine. Big inhale, big exhale, big inhale. Ma. Thank you for sharing your practice. I hope this sequence helps you sleep deeper, do a lot of healing in your sleep, wake up refreshed. Probably play this video and then keep the lights down low, turn off the cell phones, turn off the computers. And just so honor that space that you created with your breath, with your energy, with your nervous system. So have a great night's sleep. Namaste.